Xbox, Record This is a podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days. If you'd like to find out more, head to xboxrecordthis.com. Oh, hello. DaddyDWALLY here, and welcome to Xbox Record This, episode 32. Joining me, as always, the assistant to the co-host, who, by the way, I'm going to demote to the assistant to the assistant to the co-host, and demote Bubble Boy to the assistant to the assistant to the assistant to the co-host, and then Bogus joining us as the assistant to the assistant to the assistant to the assistant to the co-host. Chipotle Bear, I'm a little disappointed with Chipotle Bear, you guys. He promised me that he was going to make a YouTube thumbnail the next day, and that was like 4 days ago, and I'm still waiting for it. So demoted, and then he'll be promoted after I get that thumbnail. And from now on, he's going to be in charge of YouTube thumbnails because he made the Chipotle Bandit, which is our best one yet. So joining me, as always, the assistant to the co-host, Chipotle Bear. How are you?
I feel like this. Because I completely forgot to make that thumbnail until right now when you mentioned it. I'm sorry, man. That's my bad. Otherwise, we are gearing up for the final week. Well, not final. I actually have to go 2 days into the week after. But realistically, the last week of school till winter break. It's just everyone's getting cramming for finals. There's a bunch of events this week, which it'll be so nice at the end of the week. It's also Penelope's birthday party on Friday with her schoolmates at the rec center. So I get to watch like 15 7-year-olds in the pool at the rec center. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I'm doing all right. Otherwise, how are you doing, man?
Good, thank you. And by the way, we apologize for Chipotle Bear. He's also recording in a jet this week. He's taking off right now, but hopefully once they hit cruising altitude, we won't hear so much
the
wind
flight
noise
attendant
there.
just said it will be soon.
Okay, and then making his second official appearance on Xbox Record This, stepping in because Bubble Boy is feeling under the weather, so Bubble Boy, we hope you feel better. He probably could have made it, you guys, but he's just like, I don't really want to do it. I want to go to bed. So joining us is Jbizzle, a.k.a. Justin Bogus. How are you, buddy? Thanks for stepping in today.
Thanks for having me. That's 8 o'clock where you guys are right now,
Yep.
and it's 10 o'clock where I am, and Chance went to bed, and I wish I was in bed, but I got called 5 minutes ago and asked to do it, and for XRT...
Yeah.
I'd give an arm for you.
Number one
Just
fan
called to
right
come
here,
up to the
guys.
big leagues.
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on, and
All right.
excited to be here. Like you guys, very excited that we have one more week of school.
Yes, exactly. So thank you, Bogus, for real, for stepping up. We really do appreciate that. On a sad note, guys, Chance, who, isn't a Broncos fan, but he respects the game. He respects players. He's a diehard Chiefs fan, but we don't need to talk about that caca. We had sad news in the football world this week. If you're a Denver Broncos fan, Chance wanted to title this episode just number 88 for Demaryius Thomas. We just want to send out our thoughts and prayers to all of his family. It's very sad to hear of him passing. Shocked and just a bummer. He was just a great player on the field, and even better, I guess, off the field. I didn't,
Stand-up guy.
just always, what I always remember about DT was just him always smiling and always giving it his all. I also remember a lot of jobs, DT, and then I remember you turning it around and making a huge play like right after. So just a great Bronco. We just want to, remember Demaryius and Bogus. What was your most fond? Obviously, everyone's going to say that one reception against Pittsburgh, but I just remember him. You know what I remember him consistently doing is he was always good at running after the catch on those screenplays. Like I remember him scoring on a lot of those short screens with Peyton and making those big, run yards after the catch kind of plays. So
he was underrated as a blocker for screens too.
Yeah,
Emmanuel
that's
Sanders
true.
broke a lot of runs because DT was, a lot of receivers don't want to block.
That's true.
And Hines Ward comes to mind as one of the best.
Yep.
But DT was pretty good. And so I appreciate how hard he worked at every aspect of his game. It didn't seem like he was the type of guy who you just never really saw him take plays off.
Yeah.
And so just a true professional. And Peyton Manning always held him in high regard. And obviously they had a magic season or two together. So Yeah,
Few
but I'm
years.
wearing my Broncos jersey
Nice.
or T-shirt. This is the best. This is when you're on teacher salary, this is as close to a
Exactly,
real
yeah.
jersey as you can get. So, but yeah. Shout out to
Shout out
DT
to
number
DT.
88.
I also have my wife. We had a picture. I don't know if you guys saw this. I posted on Facebook, but Demarius back in the day when Allie and we announced that we were having our son. We announced it with I was in my Emmanuel jersey and Allie was in her DT jersey, and he and Emmanuel both liked the picture on Instagram, so we felt like super famous at that point, and that picture was blowing up. So
You were super famous.
for a few seconds we were, because I think it was almost like on the Broncos Instagram, like, or something. I don't know. It was incredible. So shout out DT, we love you, brother, and number 88. We'll always remember you. Let's go into more positive news, guys. I'm back. I'm back from sailing the seas of Hawaii. I can talk about this trip for a long time, but the gist of it is we had a great time despite 2 days of rain, and I would go back in a heartbeat. The hardest thing about Hawaii, or the most difficult thing for me, was that 5.5, 6 hour flight. That's the longest flight I've ever taken in my life, and it was much worse going there than coming back, because going there, we flew 2 hours to LAX, and then I was feeling fine. And then that 5 hour flight, I'm like, I don't want to have to pee in the plane. I don't want to have to get up multiple times. Didn't drink any water. Didn't eat any food. By the time we got to the restaurant in Hawaii, it was beautiful weather, perfect. I started to have this horrible headache, just completely dehydrated, just kind of ruined the night after dinner. But thankfully, dinner beforehand was great. But pro tip, do not skimp out on the water or eating food on that 5.5 hour flight. My gosh, that was a huge mistake. So new mistake for me. But I'm glad to be back. We'll talk about Hawaii later with the best food I had this week. But let's jump into some shout outs here, guys. So right after we recorded last week, XBaconGamn had sent me an email, literally seconds after we recorded. So I have to get to this. And he also had a comment for us on YouTube. He said, OMG, my mini fridge is so loud. It's literally a $100 prop. It is nearly as loud as my old PS4 Pro, and it makes me sad. And speaking of the refrigerator, mine's right up there. You can't see it because the camera's kind of cutting it off. Jose also got his refrigerator, and he says it's not that bad. But I think he has it shoved in a corner in a little cabinet over there, and it's probably, I'm going to guess, actually, what do you have in there, Jose? Tell us what you've got with your refrigerator right now.
So it's technically, my refrigerator is actually wrapped right now. It's at my parents' house. I will get to open it on Christmas.
I thought you tested it.
There is a second fridge that's sitting right next to me in a box right here because my amazing mother heard on the podcast that I didn't get it on the morning of. Shout out to
Mrs. Martinez.
Annette Martinez, my mom. And so she felt bad. She's like, Hito, you didn't get one, so I'm going to get you one for Christmas. So she did, which is fantastic. But she was so hell-bent on getting it that she got two. Because she thought she got scammed on from this one guy on eBay, and then she got another one locally, and then the one on eBay came through. So I have an extra one that she asked me to try and sell to recoup her money in the meantime. But I tested it last night just because I was like, since she used the word scam, I was like, did you make sure it plugs in and stuff? It does. It works really great. Here's the issue. Because I'm in my bar, I already have a fridge and a kegerator in here that make noise all the time. So like that's a very common thing in this room. So compared to those, I didn't think it was that loud. However, I could see that if you were putting it in like a quiet TV room or in an office where it's really generally pretty silent, it would be like a jet engine in there. But otherwise, I think it's fine. Like I'm excited to have it. And it definitely got really cold over the course of like an hour or so.
Okay. Jbiz, have you heard this refrigerator through videos or anything? Have you done any research into it? Are you interested at all, or is this a pass for you?
I think it already was a meh for me. Now I think with the sound bites that we're getting, the decibels. Somebody said it hit like 50 decibels or something like that. That's pretty loud. So I think I'm gonna press the pass button.
Okay, Jbiz. Well, XBacon has his fridge, and he's going to keep it. I know he will because he has everything over there. And here's his email. Jose, where can people write into us if they've got, if they want to reach out to us on the show? Where can
you can always find us at xboxrecordthis@gmail.com, or you can reach us on all social media. Xbox record this.
Thank you so much. All one word. XBaconGamn writes in and says, "Hey fellas, picking a top 10 list is no easy task when you've been playing video games as long as I have. My first console was the Atari 2600, and I have owned every console since then, with the exception of the Dreamcast. But here's my best effort." And here it is, reverse order. Number 10, Tomb Raider. Number 9, StarCraft 2, the game that made me learn how to build my first gaming PC. This game made me learn a skill that I use quite often and have built well over 20 custom gaming PCs and spawned my YouTube channel. Oh, interesting, XBacon. Number 8, Call of Duty Warzone. Wow. 20 plus days of game time and my most played game on Xbox per the museum. I could definitely, well, that's impressive, man. I think he was on the other night after beating Halo. Number 7, Doom Eternal. Fantastic mindless demon slaying. Bacon, I would also add fantastic platforming and movement as well. Number 6 of all time, Psychonauts 2. That game has charm for days. Number 5, Spider-Man, my first and only platinum on the PlayStation. Number 4, ooh, this is a great one, XBacon, Ori. I am an absolute sucker for platformer, especially one with that. Yes, Ori and the Blind Forest, fantastic game, XBacon. One of my favorites of all time as well. Both of them just phenomenal. Number 3, Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3. That's 3 games there, Bacon, but I'll let it slide. So many memories from my childhood. Trying to find time or reason to play with my Switch OLED is becoming harder by the day, but Mario hits me in my feelings. Ooh, number 2. I'm shocked at this one. I'm a little shocked, XBacon. God of War 2018. It was good, but number 2? Bacon? I don't know. And number 1, Halo. Anything Halo, the GOAT. He says, "I have never really been into RPG games, but I'm making an honest attempt to get into them. I'm through Mass Effect 1 and halfway through 2 and enjoying the series. I have Skyrim, Witcher 3, and Cyberpunk installed and trying. Jason." And he says, "And Jose, reply to a brother when he sends you a message on Xbox Live already." Thank you, Bacon, for that list. By the way, if you haven't played Skyrim, and I'm glad you're enjoying Mass Effect, but like Mass Effect 1 through 3 are my favorites of all time. Probably Jbizzle's too. Fantastic. And Skyrim, my gosh. So one more thing I wanted to add to Bacon's stats here, his top 10. Bacon rumored, or Jose, tell me, what did he do with the Infinite campaign recently? I think you told me last night.
He said he finished the campaign on Heroic. And I thought it was Legendary, but I'm pretty sure it was Heroic. I can pull up the message right here because he's right. I was terrible. He wrote to me for like days, and I didn't check the app, and I was looking online. I am so sorry, Bacon. My bad, dude. But he told me that he did that, and I was like, that's insane because it's only been out for what, 3 days at this point?
Yeah.
4 days at this point. Yeah, he was a beast in that for sure, man. Hang on, I'll look at it right now.
Okay, Bacon. So I thought you beat Legendary in like 23 hours or something. That would have been insane. So very impressive.
Finished it on Heroic today. Final battle took over an hour and 50 deaths. And I asked him, what was your total play time? And he said about 24 hours total. But I don't know if he did the full, like he did all the side quests or if he was just campaign. I don't know. But
yeah,
I think he did most of it.
Yeah,
I think he said he did
everything. He's got to be doing some side stuff for sure. Yeah.
And just one thing real quick, because I'm a little old, but I was introduced to a new acronym the other day, and I'm sure that you guys know this one, but DINK. Jason is a DINK. Dual income, no kids.
Oh,
that's why he can when he talks about buying all those systems and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I've heard of dual income, no kids. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And being able to beat the campaign in 3 days. Yeah.
And having every system.
But shout out to XBacon and his wonderful wife, because he snagged a lucky one. I'm sure she's lucky too.
Yep.
So the dual income, no kids, bogus. Never got to experience that because I married Allie and then we had a kid right away. So I don't know what that life is like.
No, you had 3 kids right away.
Yeah, you're right. Let's go. Thank you, Bacon, for the email. Please send us more top 5 ideas. I appreciate your top 10 list. Pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie. I liked a lot of yours, even though missing Skyrim and Mass Effect for sure. I hope you get to I'm playing Skyrim right now, Bacon. It's incredible. Probably for the 50th time. I'm insane. Guys, let's get into the warm-up question. And this was a warm-up question brought to us by Bubble Boy and Seven, and he thought of this. He asks us, 2022, way too early game of the year predictions. And I'm going to share his list right away. By the way, this was the text he got, guys. He said, I'm miserable, bros. Sneezing like a muh. I can't record this. Or I can't record like this. Here are my lists for episode number 88, RIP DT. Opener for his Game of the Year picks for 2022. So these are Bubble Boy and Seven's predictions for Game of the Year already. And he gave me 5. He has number 5, Dying Light 2, Stay Human. Number 4, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Number 3, Elden Ring. That's probably going to be Jbizz's Game of the Year. Number 2, Gotham Knights. And number 1, Starfield. And I'm going to piggyback onto that, Chance. And mine would be for sure, I think, Starfield. If Starfield it all delivers anything like Skyrim and in space, I'm going to be sucked into that. And I don't know what could be better than that. I'm not obsessed with Elden or Dark Souls or Demon. Is it Dark or Dark Souls with like Jbiz is? So Elden Ring, I might play if it's a little bit more accessible. But yeah, for me, Starfield. Like I can't wait for Starfield. That's the only thing I'm really looking forward to next year. And hopefully Xbox has some other secrets as well. And then he says, honorable mention, Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga as potential Game of the Year. Jose, what about you? What are your predictions for Game of the Year for way too early 2022?
So I think this is a hard question. I mean, I get why we're doing it. Obviously, the Game Awards just happened, and I don't want to say like an upset because I'm sure it was a great game. I didn't play the one that won It Takes Two that won Game of the Year, but there were definitely some like Psychonauts was on there that didn't make it. Resident Evil didn't make it. So like, I'm sure there's some politics we get into with games in general, but I think it's a hard question. I just think that yes, we've heard of some games on the horizon, and there are some that we don't even know if they're actually going to come out in 2022. But the ones I had on my list right now, number 5 was Scorn, which is a PC game that's coming to the console, I think, it looks like a horror genre is kind of one. Number 4 for me, Redfall, that like 4-player co-op one with the vampires. I actually think it looked compelling, and I know it was one of their big pushes with Game Pass and the studio that they acquired for it. So like I'm actually excited to play it. I'll check it out. I never got to play Back for Blood. I really want to do that. That's on my hopefully winter break list. Number 3 for me is probably unique to just me, but it's kind of a cheat because it's not really new, but the Dead Space remake, like that might be my Game of the Year that comes out this year. I'm super pumped. Number 3. Number 2, I also had Gotham Knights because I loved all the Arkham games. I actually am really pumped for this game. Like I guess we've already talked about how I love the Court of Owls story. I like that it's all the characters. Like I'm actually really excited for Gotham Knights. And then of course, number 1, Starfield. Just the more I hear about it from Bethesda, like the more pumped I am to just play that game and just get into that universe. And I feel like it's going to be an easy one to get lost in.
Yeah, exactly. Jbiz, what about you? It's going to be between Starfield and Elden Ring, correct?
Oh, actually, one thing real quick before Jbiz goes, and my honorable mention, I know it's a little bit of left field, but I saw some of the gameplay, and I've really liked the story so far. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. I actually think that looks like a really dope game. I don't know about Game of the Year, but I think I'll really enjoy playing it. Hopefully it's a good length where it's not too much, but it's enough to get me, satiated. Sorry, Jbiz, go back to you.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jbiz.
This is definitely one of those things where you're like, if we record this in 1 year, we could really eat some crow on some of these things. So you're always a little bit timid to throw too much out there. But obviously Starfield's probably the easiest game to just put out there and feel safe knowing that if it's not Game of the Year, it's going to be in a contender. So obviously that one. I know this is Xbox record this, so you guys might not, but Horizon's gotta be, the new Horizon comes out. I have a feeling that's going to get a lot of hype and probably live up to it, just based off what I've heard. I didn't play the first one, but heard a lot of great things about it, so you got to mention that one. You're right. I'm a Soul simp, and you said, is it Dark Souls or Demon Souls? Yes. DWALLY. Yes, you're really upsetting the fan base out there. It's both, okay? Demon Souls and Dark Souls are both a thing. And you talk
I know,
like
but
they're
did
not...
Demon Souls come out on Xbox?
No, Demon Souls was...
Exactly.
Yeah,
so I know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. But you played the latest Star Wars game, and it's a little bit similar, and Sekiro is kind of like that, and Sekiro won 2019 Game of the Year, so I don't think it's out of the ballpark to say that Elden Ring's got a really good shot at it.
Yeah, that, and it seems like Jeff Keighley and the Game Awards are obsessed with it because there's always something Elden Ring related. He's always talking about it. So yeah, it probably will win, even if Starfield is good. Any others, Bogus?
This is like a dark horse, and I'm not saying it will be, but I'm really excited to see what Stalker looks like. I don't think a lot of people have thought about that one, and that game could come out of left field and just be awesome. I mean, I think the premise for it is really cool. So that was one I looked at when I looked at list of games coming out 2022, and I thought, ooh, that could be a sneaky underdog. But it could be awful too. I mean, you just never know with those types of games. So
I agree.
That was the only thing I think I had on there.
Yeah, and I think you could throw in like God of War on there. But I mean, if that comes out next year, which I would hope it does, like Sony's needs to have some first party releases. Well, thank you, the Bubble Boy, for our warm up. We're going to tie into the good old days later, guys. Let's get into. Let's do quickly. What are your, just quick, because I don't know spoilers. Okay. Impressions of the Halo Infinite campaign. And I will tell you, I played the very first level. I was on the brute ship, destroyed it. That's it. That's all I've done. And I'm already loving the caca out of it. And I am blown away. It looks fantastic. It plays fantastic. I am grappling around like Spider-Man everywhere, every chance I get. It is so good. I'm playing on Legendary. I did start it on Legendary, and I've died a few times, but it's because I've been dumb. Like, it hasn't been like overwhelming at all. You take out just battle rifle, take out the brutes. Easy. They're gone. Elites, the first elite I faced, when he landed on he was a little bit more difficult. So I'm a little concerned about that elite, but I am blown. I love the opening. I know we had seen that trailer with him in the pilot, and I think I'm already blown away, and it's only the first level. I don't want to get too hyped, but Jose, you're right. This is going to be game of the year for me already. I can already tell. It's so good already.
Absolutely, without a question.
Don't spoil anything else. Just I think it looks great. I think it plays well, and I think it's just fun again. So, what were your impressions from your first little bit taste of it? I think. Wait, Bogus, let me go to you because you're. Now, no spoilers. Remember, don't say anything too much. All right.
So last time I was on here, I talked a little bit and down. Halo didn't make it in my top 5. You guys were really upset, but I just hadn't played a lot of Halo, and I went back and played through Halo 5, the campaign, before, just in anticipation, and I enjoyed it. But I'm not gonna lie, for me, who's not a big first-person shooter, it was a little bit of a struggle there towards the end to just get through it, and kind of already knowing a little bit about the story. So, but I got to tell you that I feel completely different about this campaign, and when I got out of kind of on to where the game takes place, I was just like, oh, I felt right at home. Being a guy who's into more games like Just Cause and games like that, it had a sense of that to it with the grappling hook, and just I'm just it's just a playground. It looks like a sandbox, and I'm excited to go explore it. So it sounds great. Just some of the sounds that are iconic for you guys are pretty new for me, and I've even been putting in time on the multiplayer, which so today my wife took the kids, went to a play, and I'm sitting there and I'm battling internally. Do I play the campaign or do I go try to finish off my weekly checklist? And it was tough, man. I mean, it's a great problem to have, right?
Yep,
at 2:00 on a Sunday afternoon. But man, I'm excited. So I'm super stoked.
Yeah.
And super excited.
Good. And you're so right, Boggs, because there are times where I'm like, I want to play multiplayer, but now that I've experienced campaign, I'm like, do I want to play campaign, or do I want to get some more XP and finish those challenges? Thankfully, my challenges are done this week, so I don't have to worry about that. But like, you're right, it's tough. Like I could have played it the past 2 nights, but everyone was on, and we had some huge big team battle get together. So like, how can you say no to playing the multiplayer? Jose, what are your? Oh, I did want to say the music is also fantastic too, and then the sounds, like it's so good. So Jose, go ahead, tell me your just quick initial impressions.
I think Bogus hit it right on the head there. That exact same last thing, that it is one of the first games I've played in a really long time where I want to play both the campaign and the multiplayer simultaneously. And I actually think one of the things that they did that was really, really smart was releasing the quote unquote beta 2 weeks ahead of the launch, because for anyone that had not played Halo since really Reach, right, or 5 or whatever game you played last, if your skills were rusty, you really had a chance to hone them, and that actually has made the campaign a lot more honestly fun, because I feel really good and I'm like already into the world and I know the weapons and I like know the tools, so I feel really adept, which is really awesome. But I totally agree. Like there are many times where I literally will get to the top of something and just look, and it's beautiful. Like every texture looks beautiful, every weather pattern looks beautiful, like the lighting is super dope. And if you're playing with a headset, the audio is even more immersive, because you can genuinely hear things coming from different directions, and it helps you with like enemies and stuff. I'm a little further than DWALLY. I'm not going to spoil anything about the story, but I'm really curious to see. There's some encounters you're going to have, maybe sooner than later, that I want to know what it's like on Legendary, because I didn't necessarily die, but they were challenging for sure. So I want to hear about that. But other than that, man, it feels so good to be back. And I really also like the challenge system in the multiplayer, because the same thing, like I want to get that stuff, whether it's for, the weapon you get or the background you get or the symbol you get. It's been such an awesome thing to come back. And Dan's exactly right that like when I get on at night, like I really want to jump in the campaign, but then I'm like, oh, everyone's on. Like, nope, I'm jumping in. Like that's just how it goes, man.
And the only other thing I'd just add in real quick is, as far as you said, it's been a long time since you wanted to play both campaign and multiplayer. I think Mass Effect 3 was probably the last time I felt this excited to play both. A long, long time ago. Yeah. And Dan, you know how much time we put into that thing. But I was just going to say, you guys have done a really good job on the show when I listen, talking about that, studios just need to be patient and not be in a rush to get games out and get it right, and we'll wait. And this is just, you guys remember a year ago how much hate the campaign got, and they waited a year, they pushed it off, and I'm so glad that they did. I think that down the line it's just going to turn out to be a great decision for 343 and Microsoft Studios. So,
and that was in that interview with Joseph Staten, who came in, who was just offering his help. I don't know if we mentioned this. He's just like, I saw the trailer, and he reached out to 343. It's like, hey, is there anything I could do to help you guys? And they came back offering him a job. They're like, yeah, come be like the director of this, because we do need that help. And what he saw, I remember him saying, was the biggest thing that they need is just time, and they got it. And that was a big deal to get that year, and they're still getting more time. Like we still don't have co-op, which I'm happy that I'm playing it single, and I will gladly go back. I can already tell, because I think one of the achievements is playing in Legendary, all skulls active. Like how insane is that going to be? I don't know if I could ever do that. But they just needed time, and games that have been delayed have only benefited from it. We will wait, like you said. If Starfield needs to delay, we'll wait. But like the Cyberpunk thing, like that's a game that I don't know if I'll ever go back and play, because it just left a bad taste in my mouth, and I never even played it. I never got to experience it. Bogus, did you play Cyberpunk or no? No. See, so shout out to 343 and Xbox for being like, hey, it's gonna suck, but we're gonna take time on this, and they're still taking time with the delay for co-op. And I heard they're trying to get in. You can't replay missions right now, but I hear that's coming too. And so like they focused on the core gameplay, they focused on the campaign, they focused on multiplayer, and it's all there. And I'll give it a pass for them to add these things later, because they nailed it. So super excited for Halo. And like Jose said, I think it was a fantastic idea. You're right, Jose. I'm glad you mentioned it, that they released the multiplayer early. That was a great way we've gotten a lot of multiplayer time in, and now I'm ready to jump into campaign, which is really cool. And you're right. I do feel like like I said, I died a few times, but it felt easy. But I know their bosses coming, their encounters. Like I know that I'm probably going to get annihilated on Legendary. So we'll see. So we've been playing Halo, guys. That's all we're going to be playing for a long time. And I'm so excited that Halo's back, and it's awesome so far. So let's get into the news, gentlemen. Short week of news. We're just going to go over a couple of quick announcements, and I wanted to get your reactions to the game announcements, not the game awards. It's called the game announcements. That's going to be the title of this episode. Jbiz, I'm going to shoot this one over to you. So this was announced earlier this week, and from Jason Schreier over at Bloomberg. And this was right when I left for my trip. Sony, PlayStation's division, is planning a new subscription service to compete with Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass. The service, codenamed Spartacus, will allow PlayStation owners to pay a monthly fee to access a catalog of modern and classic games. The offering will likely be available on PS4 and PS5. When it launches expected in the spring, the service will merge Sony's two existing subscription plans, PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now, And then I think there was going to be a tier. It's going to be tiers. The first tier would include PlayStation Plus benefits. The second would offer you a large catalog of PS4 and eventually PS5 games. And then the third tier would add extended demos, game streaming, and a library of classic PS1, PS2, PS3, and PSP games. So, Bogus, I wanted to start this with you. If this PlayStation Game Pass launches, would that be enough for you to potentially switch over to PlayStation if it gives you, those Sony IPs that you just, love so much? But I do want to point out, it didn't say day one releases like Game Pass has, like Forza, like Halo, like Psychonauts day one. So, Jbiz, tell me your reaction to the Game Pass for PlayStation.
Yeah. Whatever it is, they're going to have to go a different route and make it special in a different way, because I think it's already clear they're not going to put the money and the resources into it that Microsoft has with their Game Pass. And if they do, they're 2 years behind, right? And not that Game Pass was great 2 years ago, and it was nothing 2 years ago, but whatever this plan started, I'm sure, and there's probably, I just don't know, but I'm sure that this plan has been in development for a very long time, probably a lot longer than 2 years. But in the last 2 years is when you really started to hear about it, and it's picked up steam, and now they're just leaps and bounds ahead. And now all the haters out there can no longer say where are these IPs, right? First party IPs. Xbox has none.
Xbox has no games.
Wait a second.
No games.
Yeah.
Look at 2021, man.
I mean, it was insane. What an amazing year for gaming. So, no, I mean, I think you're being facetious when you ask, would you consider switching over? Now, would you consider getting it in addition? Even that would be tough, right? Because we're already paying $15 a month, and obviously we found ways to get around that and not pay quite that much.
Not me, Bogus.
I know. Well, hey, I just re-upped. I just re-upped for 2 more years. So I just re-upped for 2 years on this recent one. So I'm with you. But a lot, but most people can't afford to do that, or just aren't willing to. Is probably more realistic. And so no, I just, whatever they do, they're going to have to find a way to make it their own, the way that Nintendo has, right? Nintendo is great for so many people because it didn't want to copy what PlayStation and Microsoft do, and it made its own. So whatever PlayStation does, if they want it to be something that's going to bring people in, they're going to have to do something different than Microsoft is doing, and otherwise I just don't see how it can compete. And the only other thing I'll say really quick is, it makes you wonder, because there was a lot of people saying that this was not going to be sustainable, just like Netflix was not sustainable. And now you're like, are you starting to think maybe now it's sustainable? I mean, you just got to wonder if now they're sweating a little bit over there at Sony, thinking, ooh, man, we're starting to see some of the gamer base. And so
I'm going to ask Jose about the economics of this and Sony's response. I do want to say, Bogus, you bring up a good point. It does need to be something different. And I think them offering the PS1 through PS3 catalog of old games, that's a big deal. Like, those are a lot of games that people want to play. Like, we already have that from Xbox, but PlayStation 1 goes further back than the original Xbox, and adding PSP, that'd be kind of cool. Like, I would like to play some of their games, but you also brought up a good point. Like, would I do that? Probably not either. You're right, because I'd probably just get a PlayStation 5 down the road and then just get all their classics for like, $20 or less, and then just play them then for those single player games. Jose, what do you think this reaction is from Sony with their potential Game Pass? And is it just basically, them admitting, what, hey, Xbox might be onto something here, and we need to react to this because Game Pass is pretty awesome. So Jose, I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I think honestly, this is a big example of we told you so. I mean, and I'm not that guy, I really am not. But we talked about this. I mean, not that long ago. I mean, maybe a couple months ago, we said. I think we even heard some stuff from Sony that said, we're not looking into this. We're not interested. We don't think it's a viable option. And they are very clearly changing their minds because I think they're seeing all of those things. And I don't want to get too much into the negativity piece of it, but I think that's a huge part. The one thing I think that's interesting is that the one thing Microsoft does have that Sony doesn't is other platforms. Like, we have the PC element, we have the server side element, they have a lot behind them, unfortunately, that Sony does not have at the same capacity at this point. And that doesn't mean they won't be successful. Maybe they'll find something really awesome. I mean, here's what I would say though about old games. Like, yeah, they're very cool. Like, I'm not saying I wouldn't want to have back catalogs, but at the end of the day, is that the reason why I buy Game Pass? Not really. Like that. That's
unless
cool.
it's an old game like Skyrim. Then we'll
Yeah,
go back
but
and
even
play
that, I mean, yeah, and for me, like maybe that's for a couple classic Resident Evils. Maybe there's like maybe if they got Mass Effect on there, yeah, I mean that would be cool. But that's not the reason why I'd get it. I'm still there for the first party brand new games on the newest system. They run at the highest fidelity. Like that's why I'm there. And Sony can deliver that. I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying. This is clearly they got wrong. They got the economics wrong. They were like, this is not sustainable. They like Microsoft is doing exactly what Netflix did, exactly as Bogus pointed out. Like everybody thought it was a stupid model, that it would never make money until they were making billions of dollars a month, right? And that's kind of I see where Xbox is going. Now, granted, the number of gamers versus the number of TV watchers is different. Those are not the same numbers we're talking about, but in video game world, a lot more people are seeing this and jumping on it just because it is really a good deal and it's awesome. And, you know, I mean, Halo alone is going to bring so many people to Game Pass because I guarantee you it's going to kill all the reviews and they're just going to continue to add content. Like it's going to be great. So anyway, all that to be said, you know, I'm actually kind of glad they are because I think Sony fans deserve that too. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's funny that for many years they were, or maybe not years, but for a while they were saying this. There was no chance they were going to do this, and now they're like, "Hey, we have this new thing coming out. It's called Spartacus. You should check it out." You know?
Yeah, and you say like Halo is driving. Like, I don't think the Halo campaign is going to bring that many subscribers in as you think. But I think like Forza, that combine it with Forza, combine it with Psychonauts, combine it with other games. But I think the biggest thing still hasn't come yet. I think whatever Bethesda starts bringing, that's going to bring some people like Starfield. Like down the road, if Game Pass is still a thing, you know, when the next Elder Scrolls launches, people will sign up in a heartbeat for that. I don't know. And people are still buying games. Like I'm still going to buy games. I almost want to buy Halo if it's so good just to support 343 directly, even though I'm supporting them with my Game Pass subscription. Make me feel better because like I'm giving it's actually all going to Microsoft. So I guess that's not
just
really
keep buying
example.
those skins, D-Wall.
That's
just keep
true.
buying those
You're
skins.
right. I'll
There you
just
go.
keep
That's what you gotta
there.
do.
You
Buy
go.
your skins.
Good point. But like I bought Ori Bogus, and that was a Game Pass game, but just because I love Moon Studios so much. I paid money for that, even though I could have played it on Game Pass. But it's been a great year. Sony, good luck. And you're right. I hope PlayStation does get their own version of Game Pass because it's awesome. And now now instead of them talking crash like, oh, Game Pass is lame, it has no games, they're all subpar titles. Yeah, well, now you're gonna have your own Game Pass subscription. So have fun with that. Speaking of Halo and how amazing it is, I just wanted to share this. This is coming from Postums, and he is a community support engagement coordinator at 343. He wrote, "Hey everyone. Last weekend I said to be back once we had updates to share around the near-term playlist plans for Halo Infinite. I'm happy to report that a Slayer playlist is officially locked and loaded for update next week. 4 new playlists, Slayer, Fiesta, Free For All, and Tactical Slayer, or what used to be called SWAT, will be added on Tuesday, December 14th. So, Bogus, you will be able to get all of your Slayer action in one update coming up this week. You won't have to play Oddball anymore. You won't have to play Capture the Flag, Bogus. You can just go practice getting some kills on. So, Bogus, are you excited to go? Oh, even better. Are you going to go to Free For All, Bogus, with your bronze 3 ranking and go kill it on there for Free For All? Bogus, are you excited for these playlist changes coming to Halo?
For starters, I'm gold 2. All right, buddy. I played 3.
That's a lot of salt
that,
in there with the
dude,
bronze
that's
3
like-
comment.
Dude, that's like higher than
yeah.
Miggy. Well, Miggy's like a gold 5. I'm impressed there. Bogus.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
picking
I'm
wood,
going
man.
down. I'm going this way now that they ranked me. But yeah. But I was like, well, gold. I kind of wish you would have put me in silver, so I could go pwn on some noobs. But yeah, no, I'm not very good, for the record. But also for the record, I do prefer the games like Oddball, Capture the Flag, as opposed to just Slayer. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I think more options and more variety is always a good thing, right? Never a bad thing. And if the one thing I'm still trying to figure out, and we can talk about this afterwards, is like if I just want to play the same map and the same thing, there's just not a way to do that in Halo right now, it seems like. And I don't know if there ever has been, right? Because I'm new to the thing. But I also understand that when you play ranked, You know, I don't know how many players there are and how feasible it is that you could just keep playing the same thing over and over and they'd keep finding you matches. So I get it. But yeah, variety's great. And I'm excited for whatever they want to send that is new, because it'll be new for me, even though the things you're talking about, SWAT, that doesn't mean anything to me. So I'm whatever, you know, I'll figure out what it is and be excited when it comes.
So I can speak to that, what's been in other Halos. So typically there's always been just a Slayer mode, like a ranked Slayer. So having this added in is a good thing. And I think the reason why they did a mix of game types is just to make sure there's always a huge pool of players to get those matches right away and quickly, and for everyone to get experience playing those different games as well, which is good. But to a point, I would sometimes just like to play. See, I'm on the opposite end, because I would rather just play Slayer all day, like versus the objective games. So, and as far as could you select what certain things? So if you go and play the Master Chief Collection right now, Bogus, you could literally select, I only want to play Halo 2 and Halo 4. I only want to play Slayer and Capture the Flag. I only want to, and you can narrow it down pretty, you know, concisely there. But again, how many people are only going to be playing those things? So I think down the road, they're going to allow you to be able to be more specific, but not just maps. Like, I don't think it's ever been like I only want to play this map, but you can, in the Master Chief Collection, narrow it down to what game modes you want, and specifically the different games, which is cool. So I think eventually that's going to happen. But me, I'm a Slayer guy, so I'm happy to see this. We were playing ranked last night, you guys, after you guys got off. Were you on, Jose? Or were you with us, Jose?
I played a couple games. Yeah, me and Bogus stayed on for a couple games.
Were you there, Bugs? Yeah, we played
what, just like
6 straight oddballs or something? I don't know. After you guys, maybe it was me and Mickey and Alan afterwards. We played so much oddball in this one map, like it was getting out of control. So I'm sick of oddball. And anyway, Jose, what are your reactions to the added playlists?
I'm just happy to have it back, man. I love everything they're giving us. I really liked the Fiesta playlist when it came out with the Tenrai event, so I'm excited to have that back. Is the Tenrai event coming back this week? Is that why the Fiesta's back?
I don't know, but what I liked about Fiesta, though, is that's really good for those weapon challenges that you have. Because
like, it was great for the challenges. The other thing I would just say, I just looked it up. So on average in the last 30 days, which means really for the last couple of weeks since it's been released, they've averaged 150,000 people playing at any given time in just the multiplayer in Halo, which is incredible. Like, I think that speaks to the longevity and the success of it in general. The fact that they're continuously and simultaneously running those on servers there are some glitches. Like, I'll definitely admit there are times where we're trying to get into games and it depends on the number in our party and stuff like that, especially in big team battle. But overall, it's because of the fact that we're all together in a chat and we're all telling stories. Like, it's not bad. It's not like it's whenever it's just like me and Dan and Alan or just a couple of us trying to get in, we always get in. It's when we have the bigger teams, it just takes longer, but it's still great because you're online with your friends, man.
Yeah, and he did say something about how they're looking into some big team battle issues and when bigger groups are joining. So there's definitely something going on there. So very excited for this. Can't wait to just do some Slayer and get my new challenges. Those dang challenges, Bogus, you got me sucked in. So let's close off the news, you guys, with the Lame Awards, aka the game announcements. And dude, these were out of control. So let's talk about some of the announcements. How about that, Jose? We'll bring the hype and then we'll bring it down with the winners. Okay, so let's do Bogus and Jose. Tell me if this is an Xbox record this or an Xbox delete that, so we can, I'm just going to go topic by topic. Okay. Explore the Matrix. We're going to delete that, right? I don't even have to say anything about that. Big one. Okay. Xbox record this. Alan Wake 2 moves into survival horror. It happened. We kind of anticipated this. Jose, tell me your thoughts on it being an official survival horror game versus what it was before, like a thriller action game.
I am so pumped, dude. Like, when I saw, because I first learned of it, I didn't actually watch the announcements live when they happened. I saw it on YouTube later. And I was like, I saw Alan Wake 2 revealed. I was like, what? Like, I immediately cut off what my daughters were watching to put that on the TV. And so thrilled, man. I mean, it was creepy. A very short, tiny,
but creepy,
little spoiler.
Scary.
But so cool, man. And then I saw the interview with one of the creative directors later on. It was like a 10-minute interview with Ryan McCaffrey, and he basically confirmed, like, yeah, we're moving away from the action piece of it. It is truly going to be a survival horror game. It's going to have a mature rating, so they're like, there will definitely be some stuff. They asked, they're like, are you talking like crazy gore? He's like, no, there'll be like adult themes. I mean, there'll be blood, obviously. Like, that was in the first Alan Wake too. but super excited, dude. They confirmed that the voice actor is coming back to play Alan Wake. Like,
Oh yeah,
it's
like,
awesome. The only downside to the whole thing is they said 2023. So like, it's just we got a long waiting game to get there. But other than that, I'm super pumped everything about that, dude.
Bogus, I'm going to skip to the next one for you. There was a Silent Hill Returns. Cool. I'll wait. Slitterhead. All right, I'll wait for that. I didn't really watch it. Elden Ring still looks incredible. So, Bogus, I need you to tell me why you are so hyped. And you wanted me to bring. You wrote to me saying, "Why hasn't anyone been talking about Elden Ring?" Well, here's your chance, Bogus. Why are you so hyped for Elden Ring, and why should I be paying attention to it? A person who's never played a Dark Souls game.
Because you like RPGs. I think that, Dark Souls, I did not play 1 or 2 yet, so I'm not like this guy who's been Dark Souls from the beginning and has played everything I possibly can. Never played Demon Souls. My first introduction was Sekiro, fell in love with it, and then played through Dark Souls 3, and then started looking for games that were Dark Souls-ish, like just played through Mortal Shell. So, I have gotten into the Get Good games and really enjoyed them. This game's going to be on a different scale, though, because it is truly, truly wide open world. There is you actually have a mount to ride in this one, so it's the size of the world is going to be quite a bit different. And it is going to be a little bit different. You can definitely tell when you watch the gameplay, it very much so feels like Dark Souls 3. But I just think that when you take a game that already has amazing game mechanics that so many people are used to and enjoy, and you do something like this with it, where you open it up and the different levels of bad guys just looks amazing. I mean, you've got dragons, you've got orcs, you just have so many different things. I just think even if you've never played a Dark Souls game, this has to be a game that has to pique your interest at least a little, just from just the element of open world RPG. And I know, Dan, you've had a hard time lately with the 40+ hour campaign games, and you don't love getting into those, but I still enjoy them. If it's worth my time, I get into it. And so I'm just really excited, and it looks amazing. And some people are giving it a hard time about how it's too artsy, but I like that. I dig that, and I everything I saw, I thought, man, this looks really, really cool. And if it's from Software, it's going to be a tight game as far as controls and mechanics. So super excited, and yeah, not getting enough love on this show, but that's all right. Maybe if,
I'm sure Bubble Boy will play it
and
for
we'll
you.
look to you for the official review when that comes out. Don't worry, Bogus, and maybe you'll convince me. Guys, does anyone want to say anything about Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman? Any thoughts on that, or just no?
I'm excited to hear more, but that's it. Nothing I need to bring up long term.
Okay, here's one thing I have to say. Final Fantasy VII Remake is finally coming to PC, and it's coming out December 16th. What's
not
missing
Xbox.
from that? Yes. Okay.
Not Xbox. Are you kidding me?
What's going on with this game? We'll move on. I just can't take this anymore. Quantic Dream is making a Star Wars game. Alan sent us the trailer, which I did enjoy watching. It was a cool trailer, but
is that Eclipse?
Yeah, Star Wars Eclipse.
Yeah, it looks cool.
And my only thing is that it's coming from Quantic Dream, who has made Detroit Become Human, who made didn't they make
what was it?
Heavy Rain, and
but there was something more.
Detroit was the recent one. They're like walking simulators, so I'm like, this could be cool, but if it's, I need some more gameplay. I don't know. So looked cool, looked like a really good trailer, but we know nothing about it, and I don't think there was any gameplay in that. We saw the Halo TV shows. Any thoughts on that trailer, Jose? Do you have any quick thoughts on that?
I'm pumped, man. I know that we talked about this with our video game adaptation thing, where it seems like it's been a joke for decades at this point. But we're really seeing some cool stuff come out that Paramount's put out. I like Paramount Plus, man. They have good content, so hopefully they're doing right by Halo. I'm excited.
Okay, and then here's the big one for me: Cuphead. Finally, we're getting the DLC island, and I think it's June 30th, 2022. Cannot wait. The trailer I thought was fantastic with the puppets and that. Did you see this one, Jose? I thought it was the best trailer out of them all. Studio MDHR, they are killing it over there. I know, Jose, I don't think you played it or you didn't enjoy it. Bogus, did you play it at all?
I played
Did you
Cuphead.
beat it?
I have not played it yet.
Oh.
I need to, but I have not yet. I keep waiting for it to come to Game Pass, and I think it finally.
Dude.
I think it did, right? Or has it not been on yet?
I got it on a sale, so I just have it.
It's worth your money. Speaking of worth your time, Cuphead is worth it. I mean, you might as well wait until the DLC version of it comes out, so you can just Bogus, fantastic game. You need to play that. And then the other big one was, if only Bubble Boy was here. The sequel to Hellblade, Senua's.
Senua's Saga, yeah.
Saga, Hellblade 2. I did watch all 6 minutes of it. I was very confused. It said gameplay. To me, looked like I was watching a
Cinematic.
a cinematic, but no, supposedly that's I could see where it was like cutting in a little bit. It was getting a little choppy with the gameplay versus the cutscene.
I think it was a hybrid, right? There had to be some of the CGI in there, and then some.
Either way,
gameplay.
it looked good, but it also looked scary as caca. It looked a lot creepier than I remember the first game being.
One.
And but I did watch it with headphones as well, and you definitely recommend it. You could hear the voices speaking to her and everything. Bogus, did you play Hellblade or no?
I did not. But I'll tell you what. Watching that, because I did have my headphones on, it makes me want to go play the first one. So
you need to play it, and that's on Game Pass. Mm-hmm. Go play that, Bogus. That's your next one. You can't have too many games, right? What other games are you playing?
Forza and Halo. I'm all Forza, and both of those games 2 months ago I told you I was not going to get into. Both of them. I said I'm not a race car guy, and I've never played Halo, and now I'm addicted to both.
Now you're all into both of them,
dude. Yeah, and I bet you've raced more than I finally was doing some races today in Forza because I didn't know my campaign had to install, of course, on Halo, so I was waiting for that. But I was playing some Forza. Fantastic. Jbiz, go play Hellblade after that.
It's you were just talking about it, man. Like it was cool, and it was playing the most recently of the three of us on XRT. Like the sequel looks like the way the first game played, where it's like it is really a cinematic, and then all of a sudden you're controlling for a little bit, but really the graphics don't change. Like their engine is unbelievable. Like it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's worth your time, especially with the audio is one of the best parts of the game. Tunic gets a release date. Tunic, you guys, is that little fox where it looks like it's a Legend of Zelda kind of a knockoff. I've been waiting for this for years. I can't wait to play that. And then I think, release dates so Tunic is out March 16th, Xbox and PC. Crossfire X will come out on February 8th. That's got the single player from Remedy, so it's free. I'll play it. And then Lost Ark, an MMO published by Amazon, will be available on February 11th on PC as well. So those were some of the big announcements. Guys, do you have any other announcements or anything that I missed there? Okay, so let's go directly into the Game Award winners here. And I've got a bone to pick here, Jose, okay? Game of the year. Oh, wait, first of all, I need to mention this. Psychonauts 2 was nominated for 5 things. Didn't win anything. Damn shame and a crime. Insane. I still can't believe it. Okay, so let's go through. Here are your winners for the Game Awards, some of the big ones. Best Game Direction was Deathloop. Psychonauts 2, also nominated there. Didn't win. Okay, here's the biggest atrocity. Best Art Direction. Deathloop won that as well, with Psychonauts 2 there. Are you kidding me? I don't care how good the art is. I haven't played Deathloop, and I'm sure we will once it comes to Game Pass next year when it's on an Xbox. There's no way its art direction was better than Psychonauts 2. I have to say that. Best Narrative, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. I have that. Can't wait to play it. I'm looking forward to it. That was over Deathloop, It Takes Two, Life is Strange, and Psychonauts 2. But you're right. Narrative, you're right, Jose. I don't know. I hear Guardians is pretty good. Best audio design, Forza Horizon 5. That should win way more awards. Best score in music, Near Replicant version, blah, 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 blah. Best performance, Maggie Robertson as Lady, how do you say her name, Jose? Dimitrescu?
Dimitrescu. She was awesome. That was awesome.
Okay. So
and I'm glad RE8 won something. I was really pumped for that.
Yeah. So there's another one. Probably didn't win as many awards. Games for Impact. That was Life is Strange, True Colors. Best ongoing game, Final Fantasy 14. Best independent game. Okay, this is the one that I almost lost it, Jose. Best independent game of 2021 was Kena Bridge of Spirits on PlayStation. Are you kidding me, guys? Over Death's Door? Get him out of here. I was losing it.
What is this, amateur hour?
Exactly. Freaking amateur hour.
Was Death's Door even nominated?
Yes, Death's Door was nominated there, and it should have won. I guarantee it. Kina, oh, it's so beautiful. It's not as good of an overall package as Death's Door. I guarantee it. So both of you need to play that, by the way, and I know you haven't.
I bought it.
Especially
I bought it.
You,
I just
Bogus.
haven't played it yet. Yeah.
Dark Souls-ish. You need to play it. Best. Oh, I'm not even going to say that mobile game. No, blah, blah, blah. Best. Oh, here we go, Jose. Resident Evil won something. Best VR AR. Resident Evil 4. Okay. Innovation and accessibility. Forza Horizon 5. Good, good, good. Best action game. The nominees were Far Cry 6, Deathloop, Chivalry 2, Back 4 Blood, Returnal won that one. I could see that. Best action adventure game. We've got Resident Evil Village, Ratchet and Clank, Psychonauts 2, Guardians of the Galaxy. What won? Jose, do you know what won? Best.
I don't know what won.
It was
Ratchet and Clank.
Metroid Dread. I didn't say it. Metroid Dread won that one. Okay. Best RPG. I wish Bubble Boy was here for this. Tales of Arise. Jbiz, do you have any interest in playing Tales of Arise or Scarlet Nexus, which are both on Game Pass? I played
Scarlet Nexus.
Okay,
so played through that. Yes.
Is it worth your time?
I did not beat it with both characters, but I did. I beat it with one, and
I think that's what Chance said.
Yeah.
Okay. Any interest?
It was good. It was good. It was good. But yeah, it definitely if it could be deep on your backlog, and if you get to it, play it. You won't be disappointed. But don't put it over other games. But I am excited about Tales of Arise. I do want to play that.
I've heard good things about that. Best family game was It Takes Two, and we'll talk about that later. Best sports/racing game, of course, Forza Horizon 5 won. Should have been nominated for Game of the Year. Yeah, come on. Best sim game, Age of Empires. That was an Xbox Game Studios. Best multiplayer, It Takes Two. Again, the nominees for multiplayer were It Takes Two, Back 4 Blood, Knockout City, Monster Hunter: New World. I feel like if Halo was on there, that would have easily won. Most anticipated game. Pretty sure these were the same nominees last year. Starfield, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild sequel, Horizon Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok, and your boy Elden Ring won most anticipated game, probably for the second straight year. And then here are the big ones. Player's Voice, and I'm glad this one, and everyone's kind of mad because they won this literally a day after coming out. Halo Infinite won the Player's Voice, all 100% fan voted, and after playing a little bit of the campaign, I'm 100% right there. And I saw a lot of people saying like, oh, how could Halo be nominated when the game just came out yesterday? Or how could this win when the game officially came out the day before? It's like, do you not remember the 3 months of people playing almost a month of people playing the multiplayer and loving every second of it? And it came out, the single player, and got great reviews. I think Halo Infinite, I'm glad it won. But game of the year, you guys, was between Resident Evil Village, one of Jose's favorite, and Chance's, Ratchet and Clank, Psychonauts 2, Metroid Dread, Deathloop, and It Takes Two. I didn't think Psychonauts 2 had a chance at winning, but I'm glad that It Takes Two won because I've heard nothing but good things about this. And have any of us played it though? No.
But I'm trying to talk my wife into playing it with me.
Yes.
I think if ever she was going to play a game,
the thing
maybe
is,
that
it's
one.
like she's got to commit, and it's probably going to take you time. And is she really going to see it through? Because you have to have that consistent two players. So we got to figure out. I'm saying it right now on XRT right now. We have to play this game because I've heard nothing but good things. Jose and Chance, and maybe I'll get Alan to do it with me.
Is it co-op only? Like you can only
play the game co-op. You cannot.
What's the game length? Do you know? Either of you?
No.
I don't think it's a super long game though, and I got a 9-year-old who I can always call to the batter's box, so I might just play it with Rye.
I think you should. So, Jose, do any of those winners or nominations stand out to you? Anything you have a problem with, like me? I do also want to point out that nominations by publisher, Xbox Game Studios had 13 nominations in first place. Okay, second was Sony Interactive, and somehow, what did Sony release besides Ratchet? And Electronic Arts with 11. And then the single game that had the most nominations was Deathloop, which is an Xbox game studio, even though that game came out on PlayStation only. So, Jose, did anything stand out to you? Do you have any problems with anything like I did? And also, can I ask you, do you like the Game Awards? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's more of an advertisement show as like what I think it is? And what would you change about it? How about that?
Do I have any specific problems? I don't. But here's the thing: I'm not intricately familiar with the process. Like, I understand that it's by committee. I understand that there's a deadline. I understand that's what kind of screwed Forza. So, like, I understand all of those elements. To me, it feels a lot like the Oscars, and I think the way that I rectified my concerns or issues with the Oscars years ago is I just stopped watching them. Again, I know that sounds kind of mean a little bit, but the reality is, like, look, my tastes are not always everybody else's. Like, to me, Resident Evil 8 was a phenomenal game. Psychonauts 2 was an amazing game. And the fact that they aren't going to win, it probably should make me upset. But again, I don't really know these people. I think they will win their games in their own right. And I think the real winning is sales. I think, honestly, like in the world of economics, which is my world, like, that's really what determines winners is, like, can you provide salaries for your employees? Can you create sequels? Do you have IP that's worthwhile and that has longevity? Like, that's really winning in this. I do think the Game Awards are important, for the record. I'm not totally against them. I think it brings legitimacy to this industry. I think it brings legitimacy to, like, the public eye to say that, like the Oscars, like the Grammys, like all these other forms of entertainment, it's a real big deal. And there are lots of people, not just gamers, not just stereotypes of this dude who sits on his couch all day, in his underwear, eating nachos and playing games. Like, you don't have to judge me for doing that. But at the same time, like, there are also people that are very smart and very skilled that write stories and do art and all this other stuff for games. And so I like that aspect of it for sure. I'm sure part of it is also that it's relatively new, right? So there are kinks that have to be worked out in terms of, like, timing, in terms of other stuff like that maybe will get better. And if they don't, that's fine. I don't have to watch them. I'll still learn about them. We can still comment about them. But at the end of the day, like, the way that I think most people vote is with their money and their time, and that's what we're all about here on XRT. So I'm not going to lose any sleep over all of this. Congratulations to the studios that won, and those that didn't, man, keep your head up. You guys are still doing amazing things. We love what you're putting out.
Well said. And you know what? That's a great way. Jose said it perfectly. And I just want to mention the real Game Awards that matter are the XRT Awards. So be on the lookout for that. More news to come on that. Jbiz, I'm going to have to get some of your input on that as well. So who cares about the Game Awards, right? I don't think Bogus knew what they were until about 20 minutes ago when he saw them on the docket for the show.
No, I did watch the YouTube kind of everything, but you're right. I mean, I listened to Mr. Matty, and he had nothing but awful things to say about all the advertisements, and it's all about movies, and it stopped being about video games probably 2 years ago, and now it's just getting worse.
Well, shout out to Mr. Matty Plays. I didn't know you're a fan of him as well. You should listen to him on Defining Duke. You probably found him on all Skyrim videos or something, huh, Bogus, or Fallout or something. Guys, let's close the show with the good old days. And this is also coming from our friend Bubba Boy, who unfortunately was sick. He asked, what franchise do you want rebooted? And Jose asked some questions like, clarify rebooted, like HD remaster or same world, similar story, but updated. And Chance responded with, like, Tomb Raider reboot or Doom, totally different game reimagining of the IP. And so I will share, this is Bubba Boy's official series reboots that he wants. He said we, but this is his list. Number 5, Prince of Persia. Could be as great as a Metroidvania style. Number 4, Contra. I don't think this is me talking right now. I don't think I've played a single Contra game in my life, so I have no idea what that is. Number 3, Twisted Metal. I think that was a time and a place kind of game there, Bubble Boy. Number 2, Silent Hill. Low-hanging fruit to say, just like Resident Evil did. And then he has number 1, and I feel like this is an obvious one that we should just get a new game, was Splinter Cell. Where is Splinter Cell, Ubisoft? Oh wait, that's right. You don't care about it. It does matter. Go make what was it called? That stupid game, X Defiant. Go make that instead.
Boom. Roasted.
Honorable mention. He has BioShock. Chance, I don't know why we would reboot that. I just played those trilogies just recently. They played just fine. Literally just played Infinite. Great game. And they're coming out with 4. Like, we already heard the announcements. This is a good one, Chance. This would be my number 1. Fusion Frenzy. you don't even have to reboot that. Just take the port directly from the OG Xbox, add online multiplayer, get that game on. And then he says Battlefield needs to be rebooted, but dot, dot, dot. My answer very quickly, you guys, is Mass Effect. I just want more Mass Effect. I could say this for everything. I think if you reimagine the original trilogy with modern technology and game, like just gameplay, I think it'd be fantastic. But again, Mass Effect is incredible as is. I do agree with Chance, though. I want a new Splinter Cell. So, Bogus, what is a franchise you would like to be rebooted?
So, for the sake of Bubble Boy who couldn't be here, I'll give it to you in a top 5. Let's see. Coming in at number 5 is also I have Castlevania on there. Great IP, and again, Metroidvania. I mean, what else can you say, right? When the name's in Metroidvania, you know it's good. I also have Prince of Persia at number 4. So me and Chance are.
I've never played a Prince of Persia game.
Oh, Sands of Time, man, that game. You want to talk about platformers that are amazing? Yeah. Now that time won't stand up to the test of time, but great platformer in its heyday. Number 3, Earthworm Jim. I would love to see Earthworm Jim.
That's such
rebooted.
a good one. That's such a good one.
What a great game, right? And can you imagine how much they can go do it? I mean, that you want to talk about Psychonauts too. I think that you could do something like that. Be creative and reintroduce it, and it's not going to be like a lot of these other AAA games, but I mean, you can do some really cool things with Earthworm Jim. So I mentioned this game last time I was on here, and I still to this day, it just does not get
the Caveman game. What was it?
No, number 2, Jade Empire. Jade Empire, what an incredible game. And same studio that made Mass Effect, right? And so just a great game.
That's a good one.
Let's see, where are we at? Number 1 of all time, I also had shoot. I only have 4, so that's it. That's what you get. I don't have a top 1. I wasn't gonna do a top 5, and I thought, I think I had one in my head, and now it's gone. So you get 4 from me, and I'm just gonna leave you hanging. Mass Effect, yeah, I'm with you. More Mass Effect all the time. So yeah, but yeah.
No, that was a good list, Bogus. You had a good list. I've heard good things about Jade Empire. Jose, do you have a list as well, or do you just have a few franchises?
No, I do have a list. One of them.
Hey, I'm sorry. I real quick, and I Ninja Gaiden. That's what I was gonna say was number 1. Ninja Gaiden, because it's like the original Get Good game. So anyway, I apologize. It hit me in my head, and then I forgot to write it down. So
that's a good one, Bogus.
Earthworm Jim was a great one, dude. That was a good one to pick in. I probably should add that to my list, but that was a good one. No, I do have 5. So my number 5 was Conker's Bad Fur Day, which I've talked about a little bit in the past. I haven't done it, since maybe the Wii, but it's a Nintendo. It's an Nintendo IP, but it's just like a potty mouthed squirrel, basically.
I think that's a rare IP. I think Xbox.
Oh no, you're right. It is rare. It is rare. But man, I think they could do some cool stuff with next gen stuff and just be super. I mean, like almost get an adult only rating. You know what I'm saying? Where just because it's so inappropriate, definitely an M rating.
It's not on Rare Replay, is it?
No, it's not. It's not on Rare Replay. Number 4 is the one that's kind of a cheat. Is Prey. So if you've never played Prey, it was the game that Dan he tried to convince us for literally years to play because he just raved about it, and it was amazing, man. I finally went and played it like about a year ago, and I'm just so bummed that they didn't do anything after it. And so I know we're not talking really about a sequel, but maybe if a reboot would be more bring more people in to that world and demand them to make a sequel. So that was like my cheat one. Number 3, going back to the SNES for the last 3 actually, X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. Like we've talked about this so many times.
Such a great game.
Yeah, but I'm saying like the cooperative like X-Men element. Yeah, an amazing soundtrack for the record, 16 bits or 32 bits. But I would love for them to do something with that IP, and maybe that's what's coming with the new Wolverine stuff, where they're going to really get into some of the other Marvel and comic book characters. But we'll see. Number 2, this was a big one for me that I'm like worried they would screw it up, but I would love for them to redo it. Is Turtles in Time from the Super Nintendo. Like that was such a fun game, and it's kind of surprising we haven't had a Ninja Turtles game in the modern era of really any system like that. They haven't really done it since what? Like I can't even remember the last Turtle game.
They did the Turtles in Time like remake. They did do this.
Yeah.
And it was god awful. and it was so bad that they took it off the 360. It's like permanently deleted now, and the only reason you could access it is if you have the download file on 360 or you have the rights to go download it. Very bizarre, and it wasn't good, but great game, the original.
Yeah, the original. And then my last one, and this is a shout out to Bubba Boy, who I thought was going to be here tonight, was Joe and Mac. So that was actually a cooperative game from SNES that just like, if we're being silly and talking about games that will probably never get made, like we sunk a lot of hours into that, man. And, maybe they could make it 4-player, maybe they could change it, maybe it's still a 2D side scroller, maybe not. But I would love that. Just it was a fun IP, and I'd be down if they did a reboot of some kind.
Always never ending with the Joe and Mac, you guys. So shout out Bubba Boy. We hope you enjoyed those remakes. If you would like to suggest a good old days segment, please write to us at xboxrecordthis@gmail.com or reach out to us on social media. Gentlemen, what was the best food you had this week? And let me just say it right now, I could go for like 30 minutes. So
we're not going to
food I had in Hawaii. Yeah, we're not. Don't worry. I'll save that for next episode. But I'll go first. The number one thing I had, the best restaurant in Waikiki, is called Tommy Bahama. Yes, it's an old person store with
I'm sure
weird
the
floral
Hawaiians
shirts.
right now are like all groaning. Tommy
Bahama?
Bahama?
You go to the store, you go upstairs, and they've got this sweet restaurant and a rooftop bar as well. And this is right on the main road that comes down Waikiki. And you guys, these sliders, you go during happy hour, you get the cheeseburger sliders. I've had some fantastic burgers and sliders in my day. These are number one, hands down. I know you're laughing and you're thinking they can't be that good. They are amazing. Also get the $9 mahi mahi street tacos. Phenomenal. I'm not even a big fish guy. Freaking fantastic. Then you got to get yourself a dark and stormy along with that. That might be one of my new favorite drinks, Jose. Dark and stormy is a highball, which is just ginger beer with rum. And I'd never had one before. Rum. Blew me away. And then I also paid $30-some for 3 shrimp and 3 scallops at Tommy Bahama's and about a half a cup of rice. Very angry at the price, but it was fantastic as well. Tommy Bahama was so good, you guys. We went back twice in Hawaii. We went one day, then we went to another one the next, and we're like, where are we going to go on the last day? We got to get that reservation. I will do a whole episode dedicated to food. Don't you worry about it. But Hawaii treated us well on the food front. Shout out to Tommy Bahama. Jose, what was the best food you had this week?
So best thing I had this week, Friday, like a couple days ago, my parents and we went and took our daughters up to the Santa train up in Georgetown. So it's a big thing where you buy tickets and you get on literally an old railroad train in the mountains of Colorado, and you go on this like kind of hour-long train ride that's very slow. And it was honestly one of the nights it was freezing in Colorado. One of the first cold nights we had. It was 6 degrees up there. So the girls loved it. They had a great time. But beforehand, we actually went and ate at this restaurant called the Alpine Restaurant and Bar, which is in Georgetown. And we had pizza there, and it was phenomenal. And they were raving about, like, we care a lot about our crust. We put a lot of love into our dough, and it was really good. I definitely wish I had more pizza to bring home. It could have definitely stayed in my car and would have been refrigerated because it was that cold. So that was really good. And then the other thing today, because we always have dinner with my parents on Sunday, today we had a soup and grilled cheese, and literally just like soup from the store, but from Panera, and grilled cheese made at home. And man, just for such a classic, easy thing, like I should make that more for dinner because it was fantastic. So those were the best things I had this week.
Allie made some grilled cheeses for the kids at lunchtime. It's just so good. It's just so good.
Shout out to mom and dad for grilled cheeses.
Bogus, why don't you tell us what the best food you had this week? And surprisingly, I didn't get Popeyes. They had a Popeyes out there in Waikiki. I should have got it, but I resisted. So I'm.
Are you going through withdrawal?
Yeah, a little bit of withdrawals. You know, I'm going straight over there tomorrow. So don't worry about that, Bogus. What was the best food you had?
So also had grilled cheese and soup this week. In the wintertime, that's just a go-to easy meal. My parents came over for dinner tonight, and they stopped in Greensboro because they were coming back from Asheville, which they call mountains out here, but we know in Colorado what mountains are.
We know better.
That's right. So they stopped I had them stop at Papa Murphy's and pick up pizza, and because I haven't eaten it since we've been out here, and we were trying to find just something quick that they could bring, and they threw that out there. I was like, yes, get Papa Murphy's. I can't believe that's not on any of your top 5 pizza places. It's just unbelievable.
I like Papa Murphy's.
But when you guys did it, not one of you mentioned Papa Murphy's, and Papa Murphy's is great.
I think Jose mentioned it. I still
Okay,
don't
maybe he
understand
did.
It was an
Papa
honorable
Murphy.
mention on my list.
Why
'cause
would I
loved
get
it.
pizza that I need to take home and make? I'm not saving money. You guys say, "Oh, you're saving money." I'm not, because I can do a carry out from Domino's or any place for like $7 to $8,
But not the
$9.
size though. For the carryout you
Right,
get at Papa Murphy's,
right.
it's huge, dude. For the same price.
And the other thing is, you can take it and cook it when you want, and that you know what I'm saying. So there
want
there
my
is
pizza
actual
now.
benefit in that. So well, maybe okay.
Well-
But yeah, and I also had so we have a chicken sandwiches. Ode to the chicken sandwich. I stopped at there's a chicken restaurant out here called Zaxby's. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Zaxby's. So I had their chicken sandwich.
Wait.
And it is
Shout out to Goose. Goose mentioned
Goose
you
loves
gotta have the
Zaxby's.
Zaxby's.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
says
so-
you gotta get that.
Yep. So Zaxby's chicken sandwich was good. It was probably just underneath Popeyes and KFC, because I put Popeyes and KFC's just right underneath it. Just not quite
KFC
as good.
number 2. Popeyes.
Yep.
Even KFC above Chick-fil-A. Am I understanding you?
Yeah, I would put
I think
KFC over
Chick-fil-A would
Chick-fil-A,
be
too. The
would be
spicy?
3 or 4
Yeah.
now. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it's good. I
need
ate
to
2 of
retry
them the
this
other
again.
day. The other day, I tried the DaddyDWALLY 2 chicken sandwich
Did you
special.
go to 2
and
different
Impressive. It's
KFCs
impressive.
on the way home, like me?
No,
That's that level. You
that
finish
is
one and then
that
you're
is
like, that's not
classic.
enough.
No,
You have to go to another one.
yeah, and so yeah, it was good, and they have Bojangles out here, which I think Goose has mentioned as well, but not as good as Zaxby's and
Really?
the others. So yeah, so I was a little underwhelmed with the Bojangles.
So you
when I
still
tried
have
that one.
Popeyes above all of these other
All
random
of them.
places? Oh
All
my
of them.
God.
Yeah, don't let Goose
then-
sell you
Okay,
on
well
those.
then I don't need to try
Popeyes-
anything else, you guys.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, I'm sticking with the spicy chicken sandwich from
Yep.
Popeyes. Popeyes, feel free to send us that sponsorship at any time. Guys, this has been Xbox Record This, episode 32. My name is DaddyDWALLY. You can find me at DaddyDWALLY across all social media. Thank you so much for listening to the show. We've got a special guest coming, and I haven't forgotten Jose, and I'm going to reach out to him tomorrow, set that up. Jbiz, you're going to be pumped when you find out about this, especially. We're big time, as they say. Bogus, where can people find you?
I'm like Chance. I'm a ghost on social media.
All right. And then Chipotle Bear, where can people find you on the old social media?
You can find me at Chipotle_Bear on Twitter or Chipotle Bear on Instagram.
As always, Spartans, see you online.
See you online.
See you online.
Love that chicken from Popeyes. Xbox Record This is a podcast created by Daniel Walenzik. You can follow him at DaddyDWALLY on all social media. The assistant to the co-host is Jose Martinez, and you can follow him at Chipotle_Bear on Twitter. The assistant to the co-host is Chance Siegel, and you can follow him at BubbleBoyN7. You can follow the show at Xbox Record This on all social media. If you'd like to find out more about the show, visit xboxrecordthis.com.